Hello YouTube, Heartless Angel here, back with another Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi battle. Now, today I am bringing our last UU match with this team, and then after this we will be moving up to the OU tier. So I'm battling Kevin here today, and he is packing, as some of you can see, the Mamoswine, which has recently dropped to UU. So this is definitely an interesting match with this once OU Pokemon. So he does start with the Galvantula, as I start out with Bulk, and I did mean to start out with the Rotom, predicting the Galvantula switch, but I did end up switching with Bulk. I do hard switch out here though, not wanting to take an Energy Ball and switch out into the Rotom, as he does indeed go for the Energy Ball as I had predicted, and Mow You Down eats that up quite nicely, and I do go for the trick, predicting him to go for the Sticky Web, because he knows as well as I do that Rotom can't really do too much to this Galvantula. So he does go for the Sticky Web as I had predicted, and because of him now having the Choice Scarf, he is now stuck using Sticky Web, which is great. He does switch out of the Galvantula and go out into Gummy his Goodra, as I went for the Volt Switch here, knowing no matter what, he would have to switch out, and I would get the switch initiative here, and the only ground-type Pokemon he has being Mamoswine, which I honestly don't see him going into on the Rotom. So I do come out into Desert here, and I do misplay. I know it is really early to start setting up. It's only turn 2. He does go for the Sludge Bomb here, and I will survive on 17 and get the Citrus Berry up, but I will get poisoned, and I did go for the Belly Drum here, but unfortunately the Citrus Berry will not take me back to enough health to safely go for a Belly Drum, so that is unfortunately a turn wasted with Poison. I do outspeed here now though, thanks to the Unburden, and I will get a Play Rough off, and it will be almost enough to take this Goodra out, but not quite, and unfortunately our first casualty will be Desert, who goes down to the second Sludge Bomb. But he did do a decent amount of damage on this Goodra, and that's what matters. I do go out into Pandora or Absol here, and this Sticky Web really causes a lot of issues, and this is why you need to always, this is a cautionary tale, you always need to run some sort of spinner or defogger on your team, otherwise you're going to have a bad time. So I do go for the Sucker Punch here, knowing that he will more than likely outspeed me. I'm not 100% certain on that, unfortunately. I didn't want to take the risk. So I do get the Sucker Punch off, and the Goodra will go down. He will come out into his Arcanine, and this is more than likely a defensive Arcanine, as he has the Intimidate. I don't want to take a close combat or pretty much any move, so I do switch out into Bulk as he goes for the Will-O-Wisp here, predicting the switch out, which is really good, and he had no reason not to, due to the fact that even if I had stayed in and the Will-O-Wisp bounced back, his Arcanine cannot get burned. So he does switch out of the Arcanine here. As I go for, I believe I set up my Stealth Rocks here. He does come out with the Weezing, and I did set up my Stealth Rocks, getting my own hazards on his side of the field. And while, you know, I prefer getting the residual damage off than the speed drop in this case, and I don't really see a spinner or a defogger on his team, so I thought, why not get the Stealth Rocks up? I will stay in this turn as he goes for the Sludge Bomb, and I will go for a Scald here, fishing for a burn, get some residual damage off on this Weezing. However, no burn this time, and he does reveal that he is Black Sludge. Instead of, because I know there are some Assault Vest variant Weezings out there, and I know not a lot of people do run them because you lose access to Pain Split and Will-O-Wisp, but he is running the Black Sludge. So he does switch out into the Galvantula here, which is, you know, a pretty good move as I go for the Scald once again. He will get hurt by the Stealth Rocks, and had he still been stashed, I would have broken his stash, but he is Scarfed. And I do predict him going for another Energy Ball here, and after I get my leftover recovery and then taking the burn damage, I am going to switch out here, definitely not wanting to lose Bulk quite yet, and I do go back into Doughblade, Excalibur or Doughblade to take whatever attack he throws at us, and we will get the Speed Drop, which is actually kind of good for us in terms of the Gyro Ball, and he does go for the Energy Ball, which Excalibur just eats up. He will withdraw here into the Mamoswine, and they actually went for a Toxic in case he decided he wanted to go into the Arcanine, get a threatening me out with the fire type and intimidate to get off to lower my attack. But he does go into the Mamoswine, and I do get a toxic off on this Mamoswine, and this toxic really matters a lot later on in the match. So this was a great thing for me. I do go for the protect here, not just a toxic stall. I'm actually not a fan of toxic stall or stall at all. I just wanted to scout to see what he would do. He does go for the earthquake here, so I am going to switch out, as he actually switches out as well. And he goes into his Arcanine, which is what I had predicted before. And he will get the Stealth Rock damage up on him and get the Intimidate drop on Excalibur, which is fine because we are switching out. Excalibur does not want to take a EQ from a Mamoswine, and I do not want to risk that. So I did go into the Motom, predicting the other Earthquake and with the Levitate, but he did switch out into the Arcanine, which puts us in a fairly bad position. But since he is a defensive Arcanine, I do outspeed and get a Volt Switch off, and trying to figure out what is my best bet to come in against this Arcanine, and Bulk is pretty much my best bet to take out this Arcanine, as he actually goes for the Flare Blitz here, which was a good move, and it was the best move he could have done. It doesn't do too much to Bulk, however, due to us resisting, and I will go for a Scald here as he gets his Leftovers recovery, and I'm going to get my Leftovers recovery, and then I'm going to get the burn damage. Unfortunately, this is why I hate when two walls face off against each other, because you have all of this stuff before the next turn happens. He will go for the Morning Sun here, also seeing that he is faster than us, which doesn't make too much of a difference, and he will get back to full health thanks to the Morning Sun as I get the Scald off, and the Scald does that will be a 2-hit KO even after the Leftovers recovery, I believe. Yep, after the Leftovers recovery, that will most likely be a 2-hit KO. And showing that he does have the Morning Sun is going to be interesting for us to take him down. But seeing how much damage he took from the Scald, I honestly didn't expect him to stay in, but he did go for another Morning Sun here, and it will take him up to just about full health. As I went for the Roar, just to force him out or force anyone out, he decided to switch out on, and we brought the Weezing out, and which is not bad because the Weezing usually is physically defensive, and Scald is special, and it is stab, and there is always the chance to burn, and of course we can't hit him with an EQ anyway due to Levitate, and I won't even try an EQ due to the fact that I am burned. However, Bulk is whittling down here, unfortunately, because of the burn, and he will get a Sludge Bomb off and bring us down to 8 with the crit, and we will get a Scald off, and unfortunately Bulk will fall after this turn to the burn, unfortunately, while he gets his Black Sludge recovery. However, Bulk did do some good work here, got our Stealth Rocks up, and we did weaken this Weezing quite a bit, and we did do an okay amount of damage to the Arcanine before Morning Sun, and unfortunately the Morning Sun is really unfortunate. We are going to come into mow you down here, and I did go for the Leaf Storm, predicting him to switch out into the Mamoswine, because I didn't think his Weezing would want to take a Thunderbolt. So I did go for the Leaf Storm, but he did stay in, and regardless, the Leaf Storm did take the Weezing out, which actually really surprised me. He will come into the Crobat here, and this Crobat I definitely do not want to stay on, and without the Choice Scarf, I know I don't outspeed, so I just hard switch out back into Excalibur as he goes for the Brave Bird, and I actually saw this Crobat in the back, and I just remembered that his Crobat was more than likely his Defog, and I was trying to force the Defog. I know it would make me lose my Stealth Rocks, but it would also make him lose the Sticky Web, which is great, but he did actually just go for the U-turn here, and comes back into Arcanine. He will take some Stealth Rock damage as he switches back in. It was a smart play for him to actually go for the U-turn. He probably predicted the switch out, and the U-turn did give him the switch initiative. I do stay in, however, because I don't want anything to take a Flare Blitz. But he actually goes for the Will-O-Wisp, which surprised me, but then again, that's great because we are able to get a Toxic off on this Arcanine and get some residual damage off on this wall, which has been causing us problem pretty much all game. So he gets his Leftovers recovery and then his poison residual damage as we get our burn damage off, and you know, that's fine. I'm pretty much sacking Excalibur off here due to the fact that I don't want to hard switch onto this Arcanine because he does go for the Flare Blitz here, which would have severely hurt anything I brought in, especially Pandora, which is really, really frail, and I don't want her to go down yet. I did go for the Sacred Sword here, and it does absolutely nothing to this Arcanine, especially with the burn, and we don't really have many attack EVs since we are especially defensive. We do surprisingly, as I should have mentioned before, as you can obviously see, survive the Flare Blitz on 20 after the burn damage and everything. And honestly, I'm just, like I said before, sacking Excalibur, but he does go for the Morning Sun here, as we get another Sacred Sword off, which once again does nothing, and I'm pretty sure that we fall to the burn here, which again is fine because now I can switch out into something that can hopefully take this Arcanine. Even with the Morning Sun up, he is getting the damage off from the Toxic, and it will just keep racking up. So the longer he stays in here and stalls with that Morning Sun, the better it is for us, really. So I do go out into Sun Goku here, knowing that he is pretty much our best bet to at least do a decent amount of damage to the Arcanine. He does go for the extreme speed here, as I go for the nasty plot, because seeing that he's defensive and seeing the fact that a super effective Flare Blitz did not take out Excalibur, no matter what he goes for, I can take a hit. So I do get the nasty plot up, and after he gets his toxic damage and his leftovers recovery, I'm confident that at +2 we could really take this Arcanine down. He does go for the extreme speed here, as I went for the Vacuum Wave, and that will do a really, really decent amount of damage. It won't pick up the KO, unfortunately, but this way we go for another Vacuum Wave, because he will survive this round of Toxic, I believe. No, actually, the Toxic does take him down here, so either way, he only got one extreme speed off on us, and that Arcanine is down, which is great because it was causing so much trouble. The Crobat comes in here, and once again, not wanting to hard switch into anything, I just go for a Vacuum Wave just to get some damage off on this, despite it being 4 times resisted. I knew I would not outspeed, so there was no point going for a Fire Blast. He will go for the Brave Bird here, and it will unfortunately take Son Goku out, but he did his part in helping take down that Arcanine, so I am not too upset about that. When we do come in now with Pandora to try and finish things up here, I am quite certain that a Sucker Punch from this range will take out the Crobat here. So that is exactly what I do, but he does switch out and goes back out into his into the Galvantula, which is once again fine because I can just, unfortunately, I have to spam Sucker Punch all this time because of the fact that I will be outsped by everything on his team. So I do go for another Sucker Punch here, which will take the Galvantula out, and yeah, he was more than likely going for the Bug Buzz, and that would not have been good. He does come in with his Mamoswine now, and after rock damage, he will be in a range that I hope a Sucker Punch will kill. It unfortunately, though, does not pick up the KO, and he does get an Icicle Crash off, but Pandora does not care about a Mamoswine's Icicle Crash, and she lives on 31, and after the toxic damage, he survives, which is really unfortunate, and I have one Sucker Punch left, so I decide I'm going to switch out of Pandora here and go out into Mow You Down, and allow Mow You Down to take the fall here, because after this turn, the Mamoswine will fall to the toxic damage, and once that happens, I can come back in with Pandora and use my final Sucker Punch to take the Crobat out, and that is exactly what happens. The Mamoswine does fall to the Toxic, and Pandora can come in and finish this game, and that was a fantastic, fantastic game with Kevin. Like I said before, this will be our last UU match for a while. We are moving up to OU. I already have a team set up for that, and I will be requesting battles soon. And if you would like to battle me in our 3 OU matches, be sure to follow me on Twitter. As always, I will leave my link in the description below. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe, share, and be sure to check out 2 groups I am a part of on Facebook, Pokemon Xenos Region and Realm Earthsea, the second of which I am a gym leader on. I will also leave those links in the description below for you guys to take a look at if you are interested. Until next time, guys, this is Heartless Angel, signing off.